Alright, what's up everyone? Noah Walker here, back with another match for my video series Accumulated Knowledge for Team Cardhoarder. Battling in a league here with Jerry Thompson's Grixis Control deck from GB Columbus, and won the die roll, so obviously I'd love to be on the play. This hand's pretty good. I think that I kind of wanted to just start off with turn 1 Ponder and don't play any probes, but thinking about it a little more, I think it might be right to just fire off a turn 1 probe to see exactly what I'm looking for. But there's definitely, advantages to saving the probe. Like, we could draw a young Pyromancer, could draw a therapy, just stuff to give a little more info. So, but I'm kind of happy using it here. So, Hierarch, Deathrite Shaman, Swords to Plowshares, Trop, Scrub, Misty. So this hand lines up really good against that hand. Got 2 bolts for 2 creatures. Ooh, even have a turn 2 Cabal Therapy into turn 3 Painful Truths. Yeah, this hand's great. So put it back. Painful Truth, Chase, Therapy, no shuffles. And honestly, I'm sort of leaning towards taking the plow with the therapy, just because we have double bolt. Like, I think Hierarch's definitely the worst out of the bunch. Black therapy, you. Swords. Okay, so drew a Daze. Oh wow, this deck plays Daze? That's good to know about. Because now playing Bolt isn't insane, I think that I'm just going to Bolt on their turn so that we can resolve the Painful Truce for 3. Jite is really good. I maybe should have Force of Volt that. That was probably dumb, but I still think this is okay. But yeah, I definitely think that was a mistake. Yep, take 1. I'll just fire off a bolt. Deathrite Shaman is definitely the better card between Deathrite and Hierarch here, so. Does suck that they have a Daze. Actually, the only thing that really sucks here is that decided not to force the Jit. But I think this is going to end up actually playing out pretty fine. So. Yep, Hierarch suited up. I'm just going to bolt that. Crack a fetch. That's fine. If he jams some sort of creature, then I'll probably end up just having to Force of Will it. Taking 1 hit from a Jit isn't the end of the world or anything, but yeah, that one's definitely getting Force of Volt. Hopefully we just draw land so that we can happily jam the Painful Truce. Ponder's okay too. Ooh, Young Pyromancer, Wasteland. and Gitaxian Probe. It's a great set of cards. Almost want to draw the Wasteland and Wasteland him, but that's definitely not the play. We want the Probe. We want the Waste. We definitely want to draw Wasteland, so can't put it last. So I'm just going to put Pyromancer last. I could just Painful Truths for 2 here. Because then we land the Jace no matter what, almost. It's a little greedy, but I kind of want to try and get ahead in this game before it's too late. So I'm just going to do it. If my hand and the top cards weren't so good, then I would never even consider making this play. It's literally just throwing away a Painful Truth to a Daze. But, yeah, I really just want to try and get ahead. Like, if they miss for a draw step, then getting the Jace out there is super, super valuable. So it looks like they might have missed. So not exactly a miss, actually. It's pretty insane. Yep. Get to take our Jace. That really sucks. It really, really, really sucks. Because now I don't even want to play the Young Pyromancer, really. Because it just dies to the Jit, so. I could Brainstorm here. I almost think that I have to Brainstorm here, actually, the more that I think about it. My outs to this are the 2 more bolts or one of the dismembers. But if we wait and then draw a bolt, then it's no longer an out. So I think one card isn't as important as finding it now. So yeah, we missed. Really starting to come back to bite me that this Jit is in play. I suppose Scrub is the only reasonable kill here, because it's the only thing that shuts off a color. I don't think that they are playing any black cards in their deck, really, but man, that's just like a really unfortunate series of events here. Like, I felt like this game was almost impossible to lose after we had Bolt plus Cabal Therapy. I guess really just not countering the Jite was what did it in. I mean, obviously the game's not over yet. I just feel very far behind at this point. That's definitely a fantastic start. We really need Dismember though, so have to shuffle away that. It's not exactly a Dismember. Let's see. If I play Brainstorm now, Dismember still the only out. I guess I can wait to see if they use one of the counters off the Jite, so that Click is in bolt range. So yeah, I think I have to Brainstorm here. Not looking great. Really not looking great. Maybe they'll use mana so that this Jace is better. I don't know. Brainstorm, okay. That is using mana and not cast a spell. Like, that's the way that we can win. If they don't have a land here or a creature, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm dead. I think I'm just 100% dead on board. I could play Jace, Brainstorm, not doing anything. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so, man, if I could have, like the odds that, like, seeing my opening hand of Bolt, and then, like, probing a mulligan to 6 opponent with 2 1-drop creatures, and then pondering into a therapy, like, I would have put myself at, like, at least 80% to win that game. Then not countering the Jide, definitely. Maybe I don't know if it was a mistake, but it definitely ended up panning out really, really poorly. I'd say that probably it was wrong. Like, that card is just so good against most decks. Really hard to deal with. So I think here, bringing in Abrupt Case is definitely good. Baleful Strix also possibly good. Definitely Pyroblast. They're playing a deck that probably has something like True Name Nemesis. Definitely maybe some copies of Jace and stuff. So I think Toxic Deluge is fantastic against the deck too. Again, I'm not digging Therapy completely in this matchup, but some copies is probably great. So Submerge could be good. Submerge is definitely good. They're green based. Strix could be good. Edict I don't think is great because of all the 1-drops and stuff, but Staticaster could be worth it. But there's not that much stuff that it hits, so maybe. Obviously I think Staticaster generally for not for this matchup, it's for different matchups, but like Elves and Death and Taxes and stuff, but I think it's okay here. I don't know if I want to bring it in though. But definitely the Decays, the Pyroblast, the Deluge, and the Submerge. I think Force is just, I just like don't love that Magic card. It's like, as a Delver player, it's just the card that I board out like first in almost every matchup that isn't combo. I just hate this card. It just like costs 2 cards and doesn't do very much for you, so I'm gonna board those out. Let's see. I think the Daze is fine to. Oh, we're on the play. I kind of want to keep in the Daze if I'm on the play. I'll like the Painful Truce. I'll shave 1 Therapy, maybe 1 more Therapy. I just generally shave 1 Therapy in a lot of matchups, it seems, with this deck. Maybe Strix isn't the best ever. Like, generally I like Strix more against, like, Tarmogoyf decks, and they're not necessarily a Tarmogoyf deck, so. But they play their hand pretty fast, so I'm going to just board out another Therapy and then bring in these 6. Pyroblast is the only one that I'm not positive on, but the other ones seem great, so I'm just going to run this. Alright, yes, I would like to play first. I think this is a keep. It's not the best hand ever. It's not horrible, but I think it's a keep. So the real question here is, do I want to get greedy and save the Tritaxian Probe to make a 1/1, or do I just fire it off now? I'm leaning towards a little bit fire it off now. I kind of want more cards in my hand so that I can play, like, so I can happily crack this fetch for a Volk to bolt, and then still cast turn 2 Young Pyromancer, so I'm going to play it. Maybe I've just gotten much more aggressive with my probes, but recently I've just been firing them off. Noble, Deathrite, Storm, TNN, Waste, X2, Misty. So if we draw a Wasteland, actually, then this hand is... It's looking perfect with a Wasteland. I'm really strongly considering end of turn brainstorming here. It's one of the things that I do like the least, probably. It's something I'm super scared to do, especially against 2 Wastelands in hand. But let's say we draw a Wasteland off this brainstorm, the game could almost just instantly end. Oh, okay. So since they're fetching a basic land, I think that I definitely have to just bolt that here. Take it a little bit more slowly. Underground Sea is a fantastic draw. I think I want to lead off with Young Pyromancer. Because they have a Noble Hierarch, but no other land, as I know of, so... Young Pyromancer, I think, will just get me the furthest I can be ahead before TNN hits, so... Waste is fine. Noble's fine. Probably gonna waste the Valk. Maybe the C. Yeah. Waste the Valk, scared of lightning bolts. Makes sense. Definitely firing off a Brainstorm this turn, though. So the question is, do I want to play Tropical Island and then play the Brainstorm? That way, if I draw something like one of the Cabal Therapies... I'm actually going to look at my sideboard right now. How do I look at my sideboard? View sideboard. There we go. Okay, so there's one therapy in the deck. So maybe that play is a little bit loose. Could just play land and play Strix, and just ignore the possibility of them playing a land and then playing the TNN. I think the best way for me to deal with True Name here is to just flood the board with stuff for Pyromancer. So maybe maybe I just want to Brainstorm first. Yeah, I think I'm going to Brainstorm before the land. Mostly just for fetch land purposes. I think having the Tropical Island isn't fantastic, so... Ooh, this Submerge is really good here. Mostly just because it sets up for really good use of this Pyroblast. So I'm actually gonna just draw step Submerge that card, because I want to set it back like almost 2 turns. Actually, I know that they have a Brainstorm hand, so that's probably a loose play. Put back Jace Gurmag. Gonna play this. Gonna Submerge that. And just bash in there with the Young Pyromancer. So this game's looking up now. It's definitely looking a little bit scary. But I think that I'm pretty far ahead at this point. Windswept Heath, okay. Get out the Trop. Noble Hierarch's fine. Second one is totally fine. So their hand is True Name Nemesis, Wasteland, and a card I don't know. Just gonna fire off a Brainstorm. Missing again is kind of rough. But we do have Deathrite Shaman this turn, though, so we can attack for 4, play Probe for life, play Deathrite Shaman, and pass. Put back Jace Gurmag. Paying 2 kind of sucks because it puts us on a 3-turn clock. But we have the Deathrite Shaman to gain life, so it's not the end of the world. So, oh yeah, Brainstorm. We actually knew all 3 cards. Attack for 4. Fire off a Deathrite. So yeah, this game's actually looking great. This board is really hard for a deck like Bant to deal with, so. Next turn I can happily attack with 4 of the elementals, just sacrifice 1 to the true name, basically, so. Looking great. This submerge was actually so good, because if he didn't submerge the Noble Hierarch, then they'd get their draw step for 1, and they'd get an extra mana by being able to cast the true name a turn early. So the submerge was huge. This is just such a powerful effect for free. Like, yeah, 5 mana, pretty unplayable, but if this card's free, then sign me up. Plow the Deathrite. That's fine. Waste the Sea, I assume. Stoneforge. That's scary. Well, that was just a really good Wasteland now, or Brainstorm now, wasn't it? Brainstorm into Stoneforge Mystic and Swords. Man, just like twice in a row from a game state where I feel like I'm dominating my opponent, they just drew like fantastic cards to get out of it. So it does sting quite a bit, but oh wow, Surgical, the Underground Sea. This is a super aggressive line that my opponent's taking. So generally, I think this line isn't horrible, actually. But like now, that just made 6 or 7 of the fetch lines in my deck live to be a Gurmag Kingler here. So when I knew my top card previously, so definitely working out okay. Yeah, that's an easy shuffle though. That Wasteland is a very live draw. That was a pretty lucky Wasteland, actually. Because now it forces them to draw a land to want to hook up the Stoneforge. And if they do, then it's pretty bad for us. But if they don't, then we're super far ahead. But of course, knowing this opponent, maybe I'm supposed to leave an extra token back in case they do draw the land. Because here, if we double block this, then we're okay. But now it feels like a pretty tough predicament. Man, this guy's a master. Such a master. Oh, we drew the one land in our deck that's a fetch that doesn't get a black source. Which again is really unfortunate. I think our opponent took a super aggressive line of getting rid of the Underground Seas, but seems to be paying off here, I suppose. Ugh, man, this just feels bad. I mean, I can play Misty and pass, but it almost seems better to save for something like a Brainstorm. So, okay, yeah, that was risky just passing there because it still gets Volk, so it can still cast Pyroblast. So maybe I shouldn't have just sent it off like that. Like, it's not horrible or anything, but the black source just would have been huge. So yeah, I think that was a little bit of an oversight, certainly, but yeah, didn't seem to have mattered all that much yet, but so here actually, if we draw a lightning bolt or a brainstorm into a lightning bolt, then we're still really fine. Because if they, oh, that's just comical at this point. Oh wow, and another surgical extraction to get rid of the Volks. So now we just don't have. Wow, now only Badlands gets mana for us. Wow, so not playing the Misty was like super punishing. Because if we'd played Misty, then we could fetch up to have even the red source, but oh my gosh. Misty being the one fetch that doesn't get Badlands. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Because Badlands just drop Badlands casts our entire hand. Like, Badlands would be so good right here. We'd have Abrupt Decay for Jit, and we'd win. Game would be over. Well, I suppose it's not over yet. We can still draw a fetch line for Badlands. And it would still let us cast all the cards in our hand. But, definitely a little frustrating, though. So now this Misty Reinforce doesn't get any lands, which is really, really rough. Definitely made a little bit of an oversight here, but by not playing that Misty. But honestly, if we naturally draw the source anyways, then it's not a big deal whatsoever. Even if it's like Brainstorm or Ponder into the source, because then we can still play the Gurmag Angler, so. Unless they drew another good spell. Like that could actually be problematic. Okay, yeah, just re-equip. So yeah, we're surprisingly not out of the game yet. But these draws are relentless. Like still have outs. Not only outs to like stabilize and survive the game or anything. Still have outs to almost straight up just win. So. And I have to jump block this too, which is definitely not ideal. Yeah, True Name's not very beatable though. So that's why it's huge that we didn't fetch up the red source. Because now we don't even have the Pyroblast to deal with the True Name. So. And another Decay to almost round out. We got 2 pair here. Not the worst hand ever, But yeah. So it turns out the double surgical extraction plan ended up being super valuable for our opponent. So yeah, happens. Definitely got me. This one. Nothing I can do at this point anymore. So I'm just gonna scoop it up. But so yeah, that was that was really rough. Our opponent had almost the perfect counter to all our plays. Like after I thought that my hand lined up like almost perfectly with everything that they were doing. Their hand was like just perfect answers to like brainstorm into Stoneforge Mystic, Surgical Extraction, put back True Name, like remove all Wasteland our land, remove all our black lands except for the Badlands. But then I drew exactly Mystery Forge, which cannot fetch up Badlands. So definitely a bad series of draws for me. But I think not playing the Misty to fetch up the land for Pyroblast could have been a really horrible mistake, because that's definitely why I ended up being dead to exactly lethal, or like not exactly, like more than lethal there. And if we draw a land for decay, then we're fine. But yeah, that was a good one. Gonna return to hopefully a better couple more matches than that one.